They're both thick bitches. Dear God, please come. She is unwell, at least, and currently in my current headspace, mindset, mentality, whatever. You know what I'm saying? She had a bout of insanity, if you will. Well, hello. Welcome to another reading vlog. I'm not sure how long this one is going to be, as far as a week, 2 weeks of time of reading. How long the actual video will be, who's to fucking say, because I always end up with like 4 hours of footage when I do a reading vlog, and I have to try to get it down to like an hour or less. But I just realized that I kind of have a theme going with the 3 books that I was debating picking up next, as well as one more that I have waiting. Well, I don't have it waiting yet, but I put in a request for one from the library. It has been chilling for a hot minute. I think they only have 1 copy of this book. But the ones that I have that also kind of fit this theme, it's like I've got a couple of like horror, gothic kind of vibes, and 2 of the ones I have right here are vampiric in nature, as well as the other one from the library. So the first one up is The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. I have yet to read any Stephen Graham Jones, but everybody's been talking about this one, and I'm not wrong, right? It's vampires. Yeah. Want to check that one out? And then Blood on Her Tongue by Joanna Van Veen. I cannot get over these sprayed edges. Like, just too cool. But this one sounds like it's vampire stuff too. Definitely gothic horror vein. And then this one is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde remix. And I finally read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Didn't love it, but I am excited for this, My Dear Henry. And it's by Kaylin Bayron, who wrote something I have read. Yeah, Cinderella is Dead. Yep. Which I liked, but I didn't love. But I have enjoyed these remixed classics, these young adult remixed classics so far. And this is not vampire stuff, but it's, you know, the original is gothic for sure. So I assume this one is too. And then the other one that I don't know, because the other one I don't know. I've had the request in. The book is Blood Slaves. Yeah. At any rate, it's vampire stuff. I don't know which one of these I want to start with, though. I'm kind of leaning toward this because it is an owned book, and I need to fucking read more of my owned books this year. I'm not doing super great with that. I've been doing great with the library. I've been reading a lot of things from the library, which feels really good. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'll start with this one, and it'll probably be pretty quick. You know, these other ones seem like they might be way more intensive. So I'll start with My Dear Henry. I'm reading a couple of other things right now too, but for the purposes of this vlog, I'll just be talking about these. Hello, happy Sunday. I did not read a lot yesterday of My Dear Henry. I have the book right here, but I took the dust jacket off. I'll hold this up. But yeah, I read like 30 pages yesterday, and then we ended up going over to our friend's house. Friends is a couple that we are friends with. We went over to their place to watch the UFC fights and just hang out. Very chill, but we didn't get home until like 10:30 or something, and then just went to bed. I have been very tired. I was very tired yesterday because I did not sleep very much. And I've been very, very tired today. I took like 2 separate naps, so I feel like you can tell that I look very tired. But I did read up to, currently on chapter 9, page 93. I am enjoying it. It's more interesting to me than actual Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but that's just the writing style of it all. And I actually realized today that I saw Bree from Locked Booktition. Hi, Lily. One cat scratching at the fucking closet door. One's sitting right here. Lily, come here. You can come here. Hi, baby. Oh, God. We're going to have a cat fight. Ghost is behind Lily, sniffing her butt. And Lily is unamused by this. Okay, all right. Okay. And now I'm unamused with your ass in my face. Can you just relax? Can you just sit right here? There we go. Hey, get down. No. Now Ghost is trying to climb the fucking bookshelves. Chaos in the streets. No, now she's fucking playing with my microphone case. God damn it. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, I'm enjoying it. Fun times. But I was saying, I realized I was kind of catching up on Watch Later and stuff, and Bree from Locked Booktition had a video of July Noir, like, readathon recommendations. And I was like, oh, I forgot that she does that. And it's part of her Blackoween readathon that is actually in October. I don't participate in readathons anymore. And part of me kind of wants to participate in July Noir, though, simply because the books that I am reading, this one, and actually one of the ones that I'm reading that's not necessarily for this vlog, that's not like in this theme, TJ Young and the Orishas book 3, The Hero's Equinox, that would fit in with a lot of the July Noir and Blackoween things. I don't participate in any readathons. I won't be. It stresses me out. But specifically, I looked, and technically this book, My Dear Henry, fits a couple of the prompts under Joe's Library, the location for Joe's Library. And then Buffalo Hunter fits another one, or another couple of them. And then if I get Blood Slaves in time, that fits as well. However, the readathon starts July 13th, and today's June 29th, and I'm already reading this. So I'm not like really doing the July Noir, but like kind of technically I could. I just don't want to wait and like stop reading this. I'm already like 25% of the way through it, you know? And I have Buffalo Hunter already, but I might not get Blood Slaves. But yeah, so technically I kind of could do July Noir. I'm just not. Whatever though, you guys should check it out. If check out Blackoween if you haven't heard of it before and you like readathons. Definitely check it out. I also just don't read that much like horror stuff, but right now I just happen to be picking up a bunch of vampire and paranormal type stuff. God, what is my hair even doing? Who's to say? Like what? Wait, I don't even know. Do you know Lily? She's so cute. Hold on. Oh, now we're leaning forward a lot. Oh, hello, baby. Are you so cute? Say hello. She just too cute. She's too cute. Anyway, and I'm trying to get finished with with either this or with one of the other two books I'm reading before I pick up another one. I don't want to be reading more than 3 books at a time. I'm gonna go now though. Boyfriend and I are gonna have a little movie night tonight, and I got popcorn and might make some Annie's Shell's mac and cheese with some blistered tomatoes, or I might just eat my frozen Amy's organic pesto tortellini. We shall see. Oh, Lily, we shall see. Oh, you're so cute. Okay, adios. Hello, happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday today. It is July 1st. And I have finished My Dear Henry by Kaylin Bayron, and like I liked it. Okay, I just recently, semi-recently, I guess, read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for the first time, just like a couple months ago, right? Or last year. I'm not sure. I don't remember now. And like I didn't love it because it just felt very detached. This definitely had that same feeling that I had while reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. As far as like feeling kind of detached from the story, you're not really like grounded in it all that much. And I don't feel like I got to know the characters all that well because of the nature of how the story is told. And it's just a lot of like vague, hand-wavy detached stuff for me personally as a reader. That's how Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was, and that's a little bit how this was. I feel like we got a little bit more in this one, and there is the added element of explicitly being, I don't mean explicitly like, ooh, scandalous, but like obviously, clearly being about like homophobia. Our main character is queer, as is Jekyll and Hyde. So, and there's definitely an element, there's a warning in the beginning, the content warning, let me find it, that I was like, what? But yeah, definitely makes sense. Where is it? Yeah, references to racism and queerphobia in the context of the late 19th century, instances of sexual harassment, assault, attempted sexual assault, and fictional elements reminiscent of conversion therapy. And there is a fair amount of all of that in here. Very much vibes of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So if you really like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and you can get down with some YA stuff, and you like reimaginings, then I imagine you would probably really, really like this, because it's very, very reminiscent of it. Just with, I'm pretty sure Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, people talk about the themes, and that it either could be, or I don't know if the author ever said it was talking about, and definitely it's talking about like othering people. I don't know if the author was specifically trying to talk about homosexuality and queerphobia or not, but in this it very clearly is. And I liked all of the thematic stuff, but yeah, just my enjoyment as a reader, my experience as a reader was just kind of like, okay, yeah, all right. It was a page turner. My interest was kept, I guess, but I just didn't feel super gripped by the story or the characters, you know? But not mad at it. I definitely want to read Self-Made Boys, which is a Great Gatsby remix. Anyway, that's that. And the next one is going to be Buffalo Hunter Hunter. I'm pretty excited about this one. The other two chonky books that I'm reading on ebook, I'm not that much further into those. They're both thick bitches. And Buffalo Hunter Hunter, let me read the actual, like, full synopsis. Chilling historical novel set in the nascent, is that nascent? Nascent? Don't actually know how to pronounce that word. Days of the state of Montana, following a Blackfeet Indian named Good Stab as he hunts the fields of the Blackfeet Nation as he haunts the fields. Looking for justice. It begins when a diary written in 1912 by a Lutheran pastor is discovered within a wall in 2012. What is unveiled is a slow massacre, a nearly forgotten chain of events that goes back to 217 Blackfeet dead in the snow, told in the transcribed interviews with Good Stab, who shares the narrative of his peculiar and unnaturally long life over a series of confessional visits. This is an American Indian revenge story captured in the vivid voices of the time by one of the new masters of literary horror, Stephen Graham Jones. Cool. Sign me up. Let's check it out. Cat! She's literally climbing the walls. Like, what are we doing? I've heard nothing but great things about Stephen Graham Jones, just have never picked him up. Again, not a big horror girly, but I do like it sometimes, so let's check it out. Okay, I am at this bookstore, and it's like a little small local bookstore. I've been once with my friend, with Nessa, and they do like little craft events, and I'm here for a book bedazzle craft event. And the book I brought is one of my copies of City of Girls that I have. And I'll try to like get some footage. Sorry about the air. I'm sure you can't hear me right now. I'll try to get some footage, but we'll see. And I don't know, I might be like the only fucking person here. We shall see. Let me get like the front of it though. It's so fucking cute. It's like a very small little bookstore. And they do flowers too. The owner is like a professional florist, I think. And I think sometimes they have like coffee and tea and stuff. And they have like a little book exchange right out front where you can like take a book, leave a book, like a little free library situation. And there's like couches. It's very cute. Yeah, they do like floral arranging like hour on Saturdays, and then they do like craft hour on Sundays. And then apparently they do this book bedazzling. I don't know if it's every Wednesday or once a month or what, but yeah, very cute. Hello. I am back from book bedazzling. And I don't know if you can see it super well, but I did around the letters here. Is it, maybe, hold on. Maybe the less warm lighting? I don't know. You can't really see, I don't think. Can you? Yeah, around there, it's like a white iridescent, and then I did pink down here, and then I did some of the red up here. I thought about doing the black too, but I did not. I like it though. Fun and sparkly. In real life, you really can't see it sparkling, I don't feel like, on camera. Whatever. It was fun. There was a few people, there's like 5 other women there, and then like the girl that like works there, she was doing it too. Dark lighting, so sorry. Anyway, I need to work on editing the video that I want to go up tomorrow. Don't know if that's gonna happen though, we'll see. I don't think I have that much left to edit, so I should be able to get it done. But I'm gonna do that. It's like 7 o'clock already. So I'm gonna do that here in a little bit. I read a little bit more of Buffalo Hunter Hunter earlier. Not that much more though. I'm only on page 42. I want to get further into it tonight though. I would love to get up to this chapter. I would love to get up to page 90. We shall see. I'll try to at least get up to page 70. Wish me luck. We'll see what happens. I'm also very hungry, so I need to eat the rest of my pita jungle that I ordered earlier, and I only ate a little bit of because then I recorded a video. I was gonna try to record a couple videos, but I ran out of time before I had to go to the book bedazzling. But yeah, it was like a fun little thing to do. You know, we chatted about books and whatnot, and I'll probably go back for some other like crafty things that they do, since they do a fair amount. And it's not too far. It was like a 10-15 minute drive, so not too shabby. I'll talk to you later. Hello, it is like 10 o'clock, or no, it's 11 o'clock. And I've been trying to stay up reading because it's fucking raining. It's been raining pretty much since I got home. I got home and hi Lily. Hi baby. Oh yeah? I let the dog out right when I got home, and then I fed him, and then it started raining during that time, and he will not go outside to potty if there's even a sprinkle of rain. Like, will not step outside. So, that's fun. Hi, baby girl. Hi, how are you? Are you coming to cuddle? Yeah? My very cuddly baby. But yeah, and I edited the video, and that took me forever because I was like dinking around, watching YouTube in between. She wants to lay on me. Anyway, yeah, I edited the video, uploaded it, whatever, edited the fucking thumbnail and shit. Hi, baby. And then I came in here. I'm so tired. I just kept waiting for the rain to stop. But now it says another hour. So a bitch is just gonna go to bed and like set an alarm for like 1:30, I guess. And hopefully it won't be raining at that point, and the dog will go out and will potty. I think he'd be fine anyway. Like, he can hold it or whatever, but I feel like he's gotta go. Look at my hair. It's adorable. Dee-dee-doo kitty. Lily baby kitty. I've got Rush Hour 3 on. Boyfriend is overnight for work up north, so it's just me and the cats. Me and the cats. Okay, we're gonna go to bed. Hello. It is the next day. What is today? Thursday? I'm a little stressed right now with work stuff. But I listened to some of this earlier. I always forget about Spotify Premium having audiobooks. I have a cat back here being crazy. My hair, I look like ass. My hair looks like ass. I feel like it looks greasy. Maybe, kinda. It shouldn't be. I just washed it like a day and a half ago. Anyway, I got up to the point that I wanted to get up to last night, which is page 90. So far, I mean, I'm kind of waiting for things to get going. I don't know. There's a lot of this pastor yammering about shit at this point. It's feeling very, what are we doing here, I guess. We just barely started hearing Good Stab's story, though. I did like the description of the vampire when Good Stab was talking about that, like seeing the vampire and calling him Catman because he had like the teeth and everything and just reminded them of a cat, I guess. I like that, but I feel like there's got to be a bunch of stuff going over my head because I'm just like, what are we doing here? We're just talking and talking and talking. Like I said, I've never read any Stephen Graham Jones, so I don't know if this is just kind of his writing style, and you got to just, you know, have patience to get your teeth sunk into things. No pun intended. Like, I'm not disliking it. I'm just kind of like, okay, when are we gonna really get cracking here? We have friends coming over for game night later. Since, like, none of us have to work tomorrow, I am going to actually be logging on and working a bit tomorrow, though, because I got some shit to get done before Monday. So, over the weekend, I will be working, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I can make some good progress on this. Maybe a little bit more today while I do some more cleaning and stuff. I can listen to the audio. And then like tomorrow and Sunday. I'll talk to you later. Hello, hello. Oops. I'm on my little desk and I'm once again hitting it. Happy Sunday. It's several days. I don't know the last time I recorded a clip. Maybe Friday? Maybe? And I have definitely not finished this book yet. But I'm like halfway through, so love that. I don't know, hopefully I'll get 3/4 of the way through it today. I also probably will listen to some of the audio today. I'm gonna walk on the treadmill. I'm feeling, oh god, my dishwasher is running. I don't know how loud that is. Hopefully not too loud since I'm using the mic. But yeah, and I'm enjoying this. It's definitely different than what I guess I was like imagining. It's very much a character study, I would say. And the fucking Reverend, oh my god, what's it? 3 persons is what I just keep thinking of him as, because that's what he's being referred to as. But like trying to set up Good Stab, I'm like, excuse you, rude. I mean, I guess he thinks he's like a monster. And hey, no, stop. Ghost, no. This fucking cat keeps scratching my goddamn dining room chairs. Like they're scratching posts. She has a million things to scratch that are for her. Anyway, yeah, he's pretty, racist and shit, which I suppose is unsurprising for people in the new state of Montana in 1912 to be racist. Yeah, we kind of just got to the part pretty recently where Good Stab starts to actually hunt the buffalo hunters. So, well, like the part in his story where he starts to. I'm gonna put this here for a second. I also want to sew a little bit today because I'm working on this tank top. You can't really see, it's just black. But I need to do the sleeves. I don't have anything, it's just a raw edge on the sleeves. And the bottom of it is just a raw edge right now. But I did the collar and I messed up this part a little bit. You can see, but I think I did okay like fixing it on the outside. Like it just kind of looks like a little thing. But the actual like stitching, I don't know if you can see. I feel like I did a pretty okay job. Oh, there's a hole. Oh no. Other than that fucking hole I just found, it's looking pretty good. And yeah, the inside, like we don't look at her. But yeah, I want to finish it. And I'm so bummed about that fucking hole though, god damn it. But yeah, I will probably check back in later. Oh, today, also, I always forget, I know it's sometime in the beginning of July, but I always forget like when exactly. But it is today, which is July 6th, is my 8-year anniversary on BookTube. And as per usual, I didn't like prepare any kind of like BookTube anniversary tag or video, but maybe the not a BookTube newbie tag. I don't know that I've ever done that one, but that is all for now. I will check back in later to see if I do make good progress on this or not. I want to walk, actually probably shortly. I want to walk on the treadmill a bit, do my little interval walking, try to get some steps in. But okay, I'll check back in later. Hello, it is the afternoon. I don't know what time it is exactly. I feel like it's around 3, perhaps. My eyes are shot though from reading for quite a while. I forgot that I had to go feed my best friend's cat this morning. I was going to listen to some of the audio on the way there and back, but then boyfriend came with me, so I didn't. But I did listen when I was on the treadmill, and then when we came home, I did a little sewing, and I listened to, oh Jesus, whoopsie daisy. Almost knocked over the tripod. Oh my God, and now I almost did again. Hi, kitty. Okay, no, that's not a fucking toy. Every time my mic thing falls on the ground when I'm in here, she fucking grabs it and starts playing with it. It's not a toy. Okay, we're back. Can I help you? What's up? What are you doing? Oh, you're so cute. No, the book is also not a toy. Anyway, as I was saying, I listened to some of it when I was sewing, and then I just sat down and I, for a bit, was doing both audio and physical, and then I took a nap, and then I just read physically, and I got up to page 358. I am almost done. No, stop. Jesus Christ. That's not a toy. This little fucking shyster. Anyway, yeah, there's less than 100 pages left. There's some very long chapters in this. My God. A lot of the, oh God, now I can't remember how to pronounce the word. I heard it when I was listening to the audiobook. Not the Arthur, the priest, not his chapters, his POVs. The POVs from Good Stab, telling his story, when it's the Nazarer's Dark Gospel, those ones, lengthy. But yeah, it's a very different thing than what I was expecting, I guess. But again, I've never read any Stephen Graham Jones. It's much more character study than plot. I feel like I would call it literary, historical horror for sure, but in a literary vein, just because of the storytelling structure, as well as that it is much more in-depth character study, and it's slower than I was imagining for vampire horror, blah. I'm not a big horror reader, right? So I'm no expert in the genre of horror, and I think too, I just have had misconceptions about horror. Similarly to movies, right? There are horror movies in the wider genre of horror, of scary movies, that I can't do. Possession, creepy stuff like that, demonic possession. I can't deal with that. I've seen movies like that, but they terrify me to my core, genuinely. I don't like it. But I can get behind slashers, and I think in my head, when I think of horror books, I'm imagining that they're going to be more slasher, more jump scare, more, that type of shit. But that's not always the case, obviously. It doesn't have to be that to be horror, just like horror movies don't have to be that to be horror, right? But yeah, definitely not something like that, but there's certainly scenes that are horrific. And just the thematic stuff in general, it's horrifying. I can't remember who said it. It's a Black author. Bree from Locked Booktition was talking about this in a video. It was a quote from an author. I think it might have been Tanarive, excuse me, pronunciation, Tanarive Due, Tanarive Due. That author, who I have not read from, but I do want to. Horror author, and I believe it was that author, and I can't remember the exact quote, but it was something to the effect of because she was giving recommendations for this readathon she does. Talking about historical fiction by Black authors. And the readathon is for horror books by Black authors. And Bree said some quote from that author about that Black history is horror. Like, just the history of Black people, specifically in the United States, but in other places as well, the wider diaspora. And, you know, I think that rings true for Indigenous people's history as well, the world over, certainly in the United States. And there's just some shit that is truly terrible, awful, like make you sick to your stomach. Things described, and they're not described in excruciating detail. To me, it does not feel like trauma porn or something. There isn't even like, I mean, the whole thing is about it, but like we don't have like a shit ton of scenes that are describing things in detail. But there are a few, and you're just like, oh God, like just horrifying, like I said. Oh yeah, I find it very interesting too how in this I don't know that I don't think I've ever seen this before with like vampire lore. I don't know if it is vampire lore that has been used in the past or if it's completely Stephen Graham Jones coming from his imagination. And I'm not someone who is, I don't know, precious about supernatural creature lore because there's so much of it with vampires and werewolves and things like that. There's so many cultures from across the world throughout time, throughout history that have had variations of these things, different authors doing different things with it. Ow, Jesus Christ, girl. So it doesn't bother me if someone does like do something different as long as the rules you set up in your own world and the lore that you set up makes sense and is consistent, then I'm like, oh, that's cool. But anyways, something that he does that I don't know if has been used before is that they take on the physical characteristics of whatever they're feeding from. And our main character, Goodstab, as a native man, Pagani, it looks like Pagani, but in the audio, it sounds like he's saying Pagani. So anyway, Pagani, man, but if he feeds from white men, he starts to look like a white man. Oh my God. And there's something that happens. He calls him Catman, the vampire who inadvertently turned him, and he has a run-in with him, and I won't say anything really about it, but there's a lot of things that happen with that whole sequence of events that are it's just terrible. But there's something at the very beginning of his meeting Catman once again that just ripped my fucking heart out. Oh my God. And the way it's written, like you just feel his rage and his like deep like ancestral pain, and it's just like ripping out his fucking soul. And yeah, it kind of ripped my soul out a little bit. And yeah, just a lot of conversation about, you know, stealing the land of Indigenous peoples all over the place, but specifically here in the United States. And there's also, it's very interesting, the pain too that Goodstab feels, because he's in this like impossible place where, like I said, if he feeds from white people, he becomes like them. And he doesn't want to forget that he's Pagani. He doesn't want to forget that he is native. He doesn't want to forget all of that. And he doesn't want to look like a white man. He doesn't want to do that. But in order to stay who he is and who he wants to be, then he would have to feed off of his own people and become the very thing that he hates and the very thing that he is hunting and killing. By avoiding becoming them, he is becoming them. You know, like it's just a fucking conundrum that is so sad. It's just really sad to me. That's going to be all for now. This kitty is going to be annoyed when I get up. You got all nice and comfy. All right. I assume I'll finish this tomorrow. Work is going to be a little hectic through this week due to training people. So, okay, bye-bye. Okay, happy Monday. I actually did end up finishing Buffalo Hunter last night. And what a wild time. The ending, there's something that happened that, like, just, who'd have thunk it? Not me.
Who would have thought? Not me.
It was, like, kind of funny, but, like, it made sense with the story and everything. It was just the imagery presented, if you, like, really actually sit there and imagine it, was hilarious to me.
Are you supposed to be on the couch?
I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but, like, I don't think it was meant to be hilarious, but it just, again, the imagery, I just couldn't get it out of my head of, like, oh my God, that's so, like, kind of silly and everything. But also, like, it was, because it was silly and, like, nonsensical, but also horrifyingly fucked up. Like, really fucked up. And yeah, I mean, I quite enjoyed this. Definitely some pacing qualms on my part. I have a few, like, pacing qualms. There were just a few times where, like, I don't mind that overall it is, like, a slower story and a more, like, drawn out tale that is quieter for a lot of it. Like, it's a quieter story we're getting. I didn't mind that. I don't mind that. But there were still a few times where, like, certain chapters were overly long. I felt just a little bit too in detail about things that I was like, okay, whatever. And, like, in his own personal, like, journal entries, for my entire life until recently, like in the last couple of years, I've gotten away from it. But I've been an avid journaler literally my entire life. I got rid of them because most of them are so fucking embarrassing. But, like, I don't know, maybe it's the case but, like, I would write a fair amount. But, like, the level of detail this man would put in his diary, I was just like, bro, please be so serious. So there were just a few times where it, like, dragged a little bit. But overall, a very enjoyable story. I enjoyed the writing style overall, aside from just a few places, the pacing, like, it was a little overly long sometimes. And, like, the horror elements, as I mentioned before, it wasn't this, like, jump scare, thriller, slasher type horror. It was more so just these horrifying things happening to Native peoples, and just a giant metaphor for that overall. Towards the end, there were a couple scenes that were grotesque, horrifying, like, in a movie format. They weren't, like, scary to read for me personally. I don't know that they were meant to be, though, but, like, horrifying. Yes, they were horrifying to read, of just like, oh my God. And, like, seeing it on screen, there was one scene in particular, the church, culmination of things in the church, that on screen, I might have to, like, look away and be like, oh God, oh geez, a couple of times, just, like, body horror. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot more thoughts I will discuss in a wrap-up. It makes me more excited to read more Stephen Graham Jones, for sure. Kind of get a feel for his, like, writing style and everything. Like, I don't know if this pacing is his norm or not. Definitely on the higher end for my overall enjoyment, appreciation level. I don't know about favorite of the year, but on the higher end. And next, I will be picking up Blood on Her Tongue. And Ingrid did just read this. And Ingrid is who, I mean, I've seen Buffalo Hunter being talked about all over the place, but Ingrid specifically, like, recommended it to me. And as well as this, she had mentioned this as, like, an anticipated release. And she did pick it up just recently, I think last week. And she really, really liked it. So I'm excited. And this is what I will start next. Also, update, Blood Slaves, the one I was waiting for that I was saying would fit in with this kind of vibe, and also kind of would fit in if I was to do the July Noir kind of read-a-thon, which I'm not doing. It doesn't even start until next week. Blood Slaves, though, would really fit, because this one wouldn't fit with that read-a-thon. This is not by a Black author or an Indigenous author, but Blood Slaves is, and it is horror. However, I've seen now some more, like, reviews of it, and I don't think it necessarily sounds like a bad book or anything. It just sounds like maybe not what I want to read currently. So that one I'm taking off the TBR in general. because I just don't think it's for me. At least, and currently in my current mind space, headspace, mindset, mentality, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on to this one. Blood Slaves also doesn't come out until the 29th, so I wouldn't have it anyway for several weeks. But I have to go back to work now. Hopefully I'll be able to read some of Blood on Her Tongue today and update you either later today or tomorrow. Oh, hello, happy Tuesday. I have managed to get a pretty good start into Blood on Her Tongue by Joanna Van Veen. I am on page 98, up to chapter 8. I started it last night, and I got pretty far into it last night. And then today, I managed to read some on my lunch break. And she's proving to be quite a page turner. Very, I don't want to say, I don't mean to say easily digestible in a bad way. But I would just say the use of language is pretty straightforward use of language. But it is lovely writing at the same time. So that's why I'm like, I don't want to say easily digestible and have it have a negative connotation, because I feel like it can sometimes. And sometimes I mean it with a negative connotation, but not with this. I think it's just that it's such a page turner. And I'm noticing so much imagery and just mention of very like sensory things, tactile sensory experiences, and them specifically being referenced as like very pleasurable. She talks about like petting the dog's ears and like the velvety. It's like, it shouldn't, like, not literally, this isn't what it says, but basically like it should be illegal how pleasurable the dog's velvety ears feel. Like some shit like that. Like that type of energy, I guess, and just mention a lot. And like talking about her aunt liking to dip her hand in hot wax, and like I just love the feeling of hot wax cooling on my skin. Like there's a lot of, I like how this feels either on my skin, in my fingertips, in my teeth. Like there's a lot of that going on. And there is some creep ass like imagery in here. Very like, oh my God, disturbing. Very disturbing. The bog woman and the rock in the teeth. The fuck? Like the description of it. I was just like, ugh. I feel like I can see it and I don't think I want to. So gross. Just grotesque. And I think things are about to pick up quite a bit. Oh yeah, the last chapter I read. Sweet baby Jesus. The pen? That's all I'll say. The pen situation. And I saw the beginning of this next chapter, and I'm pretty sure I know what happened. I think. I don't know. But yeah, it's all very mysterious. It's all very creepy, eepy. And we've got like complicated family dynamics going on as well. And I think our main character, it's like, oh, her sister's crazy. She gets called to, I haven't even said what the fucking book is about. Jesus Christ. She gets letters from, it's set in like 1887. Yeah. Her and her twin sister write to each other all the time. And she suddenly gets one letter from her that's like unhinged, crazy town, just mutterings of an insane person. Doesn't even make sense. And she's like, what the fuck? And her sister's like, please come help me. I need you. And then the sister's husband writes her saying, dear God, please come. She is unwell. And then she shows up and her sister is like just full on having a break, a mental break, definitely. But she's screaming about this woman, this corpse they found, and talking about this corpse. And she's saying she's real thirsty, and she's saying she's real hungry. And we see other letters that she wrote to her sister before she fully devolved into the insanity, talking about this corpse that was found on their property and her experience with this corpse and something that happened. And yeah, it's real creepy. And her sister has had like mental breaks like this before, when difficult things in life, content warning, and it's in the very beginning, and I don't think it's a big spoiler or anything. It's literally in the first like couple chapters. You learn that the twin sister who is having a time, a year ago, she lost a child to scarlet fever. And at that time, she had a bout of insanity, if you will. And they have an aunt, or they had an aunt, that was their like beloved aunt who was a bit quirky, a bit of an oddball, and she was put into an asylum, it sounds like. And the twins are worried that the one that has had breakdowns before, that she would get like put into an asylum. And so Lucy is the one that we are like in her POV, and then Sarah is the one who's going crazy. And so Sarah is like, I don't want to go to an asylum. And Lucy's like, I will never let that fucking happen to you. Don't worry. So Sarah is the one that's like, what the fuck? They're like, just crazy shit. I don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil stuff. But like, whoa. Oh, good God. But Lucy, there's some stuff going on there too, where I don't know, she's maybe not all there either, I don't think. Something's up there. Or she's just like kind of a bad person. She is kind of a bad person. If what we're alluding to is a thing that happened, then she's not a very good person. She's a liar and a hypocrite as well. But yeah, I'm intrigued by everything unfolding for sure. So far, so good. And so far, I'm excited because I want a copy of this, but I only want to buy a copy if I really like it. Like, it is just so fucking cool. I swear to God. But yeah, so far I am really liking it. There's been several oh shit moments already of like, holy God. And just like I said, the writing is pretty straightforward, I guess, but there's just a lot of like metaphors for things in the imagery. We're seeing the motifs that are presented to us, the themes that are presented to us, and I'm fascinated. So we'll see. I need to keep working on the other two chunky books that I've been reading for a hot minute. Again, I'm enjoying both of them. They're just so very long, and I'm reading them on ebook, which takes me longer. So that's all for now. I will talk to you later. I'm going to go walk on the treadmill for a while. We'll see. Hello. So I did manage to read a little bit more of this last night. I also made some progress on one of the other chonkers I'm reading on ebook, but then I picked this back up and I got up to chapter 10. Yeah, I think I was at the start of chapter. So I read 2 chapters, but my God, I don't want to like spoil stuff. I don't want this to be like a spoilery vlog, but gory, very gory, horrifying things happened. And also I'm like, I don't know where this is going. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what's going to happen. Something just happened that I didn't think was going to happen so soon. And yeah, I'm just like, I don't know if supernatural, paranormal things are actually happening or if it is just madness. I can't quite tell. I feel like it's actual, like, supernatural, paranormal things. But I don't know. I could be wrong. And also, I was correct that Lucy is not a great person. Yeah, I'm very intrigued. It's still very much a page turner. I didn't want to stop reading last night, but it was like 11 p.m. and I was like, I gotta go to bed because I know this fucking kitten is gonna wake me up at 3:30 in the morning. It's like I wake her up because I get up to use the restroom. And every time I'm like, I don't want to because she's probably going to wake up and then be fucking fussing around. And lo and behold, she does. She doesn't do it every time, though. But the last 2 mornings she has. Of course, when I have like a training, someone I'm training for work. And I have to be like on during work. Whatever. It's fine. Anyway, I'm going to try to get in some reading today. But definitely later today, I will be reading this. I want to finish it. I want to talk to Ingrid about it. I was kind of talking to her about it, but she's like, oh, I can't say anything. Because I'm just like, I just don't know where it's going. I don't know what, like, we're like 30% in or something, 30 to 40% in. And something that happened that I didn't think would happen until way later. And so now I'm like, what are we do? What? Where is this going to go? I just don't know. Hello. Are you coming to say hello too? I have a wee little cat. Say hi. Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah, you're such a sweet boy, huh? Yes. Get myself situated here again. I finished Blood on Her Tongue. I finished yesterday in the evening. I didn't record at that time because I looked like hell, but I felt like hell as well. I was developing a migraine. I got a migraine, took my meds. Oh, we have another guest. Hi, baby. Both of the babies. He is just so cute. So are you. Everybody's so cute. At any rate, Blood on Her Tongue. Yeah, I had the migraine, and then I took one of my prescription pills, and it was starting to go away, but then I was getting like indigestion or acid reflux or something. I don't know. And yeah, I just did not feel well. I felt like I was going to throw up. I was like hot all over and just, ugh. So I did not post an update at all. But I really liked this, and I really liked it, and so I want to buy a copy because she's beautiful, but I really only like to buy, if I've read a book from the library or whatever, I only want to buy a copy if I see myself rereading it. And I think just the nature, this is how I am with like thrillers as well. For some reason with thrillers and horror, they just aren't books that like the reading experience isn't quite the same. And I mean, obviously the reading experience is never the same anyway with any book. Rereading it, you know what's going to happen. Like City of Girls that I reread every year. When I read it the first time, there certainly was plot twist stuff or like, oh my God, what? Like moments that happened that now I know they're coming, and, I don't have that same reading experience. But I don't know, with like contemporary fiction or historical fiction or even fantasy, sci-fi, I don't know. It's just, I'm more likely to want to reread even if I know what's happening. And I don't know, I'm trying to think of like, why is that? I think it's because like thriller and horror, half the fun of reading it for me is the anticipation. Whereas with other books, there is anticipation the first time you read it when you don't know what's going to happen. But that's not the thrill of reading it. That's not what's giving me my reading enjoyment, my enjoyment of the experience. It's all the other stuff. It's the writing. It's the plot. It's the world building. It's the characters. And for some reason for me with thriller or horror, I think too because maybe thriller and horror often are following characters that are not very likable. Always. Sometimes they are, but sometimes they're like, it's a lot of like really flawed and sometimes outright not good, not nice, fucked up people where I'm like, I don't really want to hang out with you again once I got that experience out of like following this like thrilling story with a lot of tension and stuff. Without the tension and the thrills, you're just a piece of shit kind of, and like it's not that fun to read. I don't know. Is that weird? But this I might, because the writing, my God, like so good, so atmospheric, but not even, it's like, I don't even want to use atmospheric, because to me that implies a lot of like just vibes only, right? Like a writing style that's just given us a lot of like woo-woo, wee-wah, purple prose vibes, and it all feels so ethereal and this and that, or creepy and whatever, but a lot of like description of scenery, I guess, and description of vibes. To me, that's what I think of when I think of like very atmospheric. This was very evocative, and it was a lot of description, like I was saying before, of like wringing hands until they start to bleed, or running your tongue over your teeth until it catches and bleeds. A lot of bleeding, which makes sense per the title and the fucking painted edges and the content. Or like petting a dog, like I said, petting the dog's ears, and it's like so pleasurable it should be sinful, or something else that feels so pleasurable and blah, 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 or like dipping your hand in hot wax and loving the feeling of the wax cooling on your skin, even though it's really hot when you stick it in. Just very descriptive in that way. Sensory description. So it's not really like atmosphere. It's like very visceral sensory descriptions that are like, oh, like again, evocative is just the word of this book for me. And visceral, which funnily I didn't realize when I said it before, but it's on two of the like blurbs on the back say visceral. Viscerally, relentlessly engaging, dark, visceral, deliciously disturbing. And my God, yeah, disturbing. Very disturbing. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't even really, when I like do a wrap up about this, I don't even want to like, yeah, I don't know. The synopsis doesn't like give too much away, for sure. So I'm cool with like reading the synopsis and talking about the synopsis that's available. But I don't want to say anything else other than that because I think it's best to go into it with not a lot of like knowledge of what is coming. Because yeah, most of the book I just was like, what the fuck is happening? What is going on? Huh? And dude, there's like a description of a corpse at one point that there's like how this person died is, I mean, like horrifying. Like no words. It's like genuinely makes me feel a little ill. Like, oh my God. And the description of the corpse and something that is done, it's just, oh my God, grotesque. Just grotesque, but in the best way. It did not feel like trauma porn or anything. It just felt like a very well done Gothic horror with blood stuff and just a lot of conversation about madness, insanity, how we treat people who have mental health problems, how we respond to people, like our level of compassion as a society for people with mental health struggles, or our lack of compassion, rather, the low level of compassion. And also a lot of conversation about just codependency, in this case specifically with twin sisters, but just codependency in relationships that we can have. A lot of conversation about misogyny, sexism, men being able to just put their wives away in an asylum because she's hysterical and shit like that. Yeah, just a lot. Just like Buffalo Hunter Hunter, just so much to sink your teeth into here. Again, no pun intended. But just delicious, like it says. Deliciously disturbing. I would agree. So yeah, I kind of do want to buy a copy of it to have to reread because like the writing was so like I'm in it, but I don't know, maybe I haven't decided if I could see myself rereading it, but I really liked it. Definitely in the like faves range, I would say, just for the writing and everything and just so many moments that made me go, oh my God. Like, what the fuck? So definitely warnings for that if you are squeamish. If reading real gory body horror shit can like make you actually upset or ill or something, forewarning, that'll probably happen. Yeah, I don't know. I liked the story. I liked where it left off as well. It gets buck wild. Like, shit gets crazy by the end. Look at this little baby. She's like she's black, so it's kind of hard to see, but like her head. Hello. Hello, little baby. Anyway, that's all. Because, again, I thought Blood Slaves was going to be in this, but the book doesn't even come out for another couple weeks anyway. And as I said, I don't know. I might pick that one up someday. But that's all for this vlog. I hope I don't have 3 hours of footage. I don't think I do, because I have, like, no B-roll in this, like, fucking at all. I get out of control when I start doing too much with B-roll. And then half the time I cut out over half of it anyway. So this is what you get for now. Enjoy or don't. I can't control that. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.